And if I told you once, I ain't gonna tell you twice. Salute all my real ones. Yeah. Alright, so listen, champ. Neil deGrasse Tyson explains alien visits, UFOs, and other conspiracies. This is a long video because it's like 19 minutes, so I ain't gonna do too much talking, especially in the beginning. Like button, subscribe button, notification bell, press those, let's go!
Chuck, I'm back in your face.
Yes, you are.
Nothing true.
An inordinate number of people online want to know about UFOs, which to me, I'm like, how does a scientist talk about UFOs? Because
But just to be clear, could you quantify inordinate?
Yeah, well,
isn't there an inordinate number of people online that believe anything?
you know what? We are talking the internet, so yes, you're right.
Yeah,
it doesn't make a difference
because they find each other.
Yes, they do. They create communities. They get together and they breed, and as a result, the world suffers. So it's unfortunate, but that's what happens. But you're absolutely right. So that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. You see the same thing happen with conspiracy theories. You see the same thing happening with, vaxxers, or I should say anti-vaxxers. And with the UFOs, the thing is, no matter what, they have already made up their mind. We have been visited. There is life outside of our solar system. Aliens are among us.
I mean, like I said in the other video, Men in Black is a documentary. They showed, like, Will Smith already proved to us that aliens are among us.
Crop circles, all this stuff. And
even Lil Wayne says, yo, I'm an alien.
Thing is, like, if it weren't for movies, none of this crap would exist. All of this crap comes out of movies. It's Hollywood. Hollywood has fueled our obsession.
No, Hollywood is giving us the truth.
With UFOs and alien life, and I really believe that. But you being a scientist, I'm interested. What do you guys in your community, looking out into space for your entire life, how do you view UFOs?
First of all, I love me some aliens. Nobody doesn't love the aliens.
Okay.
Right? That would be a discovery of all of civilization. If aliens showed up and we sat down and had tea with them. Actually, if they showed up and...
Tea? Ain't nobody having tea. Casamigos, bro. You know what I'm saying? White Henny. Behind this green screen, I got a bottle of white Henny that I brought back from DR. You know what I'm saying? Just waiting for the right time to crack it.
And we did anything with them.
Right.
Whether or not we serve tea. So
most likely they would serve tea while they eat us.
See the movies, guys.
I'm telling you, the movies, it's all movies.
So let me offer just a couple of perspectives. Just so we can, let me orbit it first with perspectives and then I'll land in the middle by the end.
Okay.
So first of all, notice how frequently aliens are hostile to us as portrayed in movies.
That's easy. One, because as far as human history goes, whenever one group of people met another group of people that were different from them, it normally led to war. It normally led to one group having beef with the other one, and they had conflict. That's one. And two, it's movies. Like, who wants to watch a movie where the aliens come and we're just friends with them? I mean, that's what E.T. was about, I guess. But, like, where's the drama? Where's the conflict? Like, you're watching a movie because you want to see action. You don't want to see, like, aliens come through and say, hey, all right, cool, we're here now. Let's, like, all knit quilts and sit around campfires and, like, no.
And that goes back to the Twilight Zone, and before, of course. One of the more famous episodes, they had aliens in many episodes, by the way, but this is back in the 1960s, late 50s, that an episode called To Serve Man, where aliens came and they helped us grow crops and they gave us secrets to our energy needs, and there was peace all over the earth, and they invited us to go back and visit them. And they accidentally left behind a book called To Serve Man, within their own sort of hieroglyphic kind of text. And so they got all the best cryptographers looking at it. And after everyone has already decided, yeah, let's go visit their planet because they're obviously superior to us. And we're all very well fed because the crops were bounty all over the earth. And then they find out that To Serve Man is a cookbook.
That's awesome.
It's a cookbook.
Oh, that was that's what an episode of The Simpsons was. Y'all remember that The Simpsons had those two green aliens that had the bubble helmets, and they were like, they would come. There was an episode where they came, scooped the Simpsons up, you know what I'm saying, and was feeding them, and apparently, like, it was to actually eat them because they found the book, but like, the title of the book kept changing if you blew the dust off. I get it now.
Great.
Now, it is rumored, I've not studied this, but I've read studies that to a child, it is far worse to be eaten than to just die. So of all the ways to die, they're not even afraid of other ways to die. But the idea of being eaten is particularly horrifying.
I think to anybody.
That's what... Well, okay.
Not just children.
Especially now, is that because of, the fear was passed on genetically from back when, you used to be out in the jungle dealing with lions, bears, tigers, and cheetahs and stuff like that, and hyenas? Just asking.
Children, and that's why the fairy tales are always involved.
The Brothers Grimm. The witch eats you. The ogre eats you. The troll.
They don't just stab you.
Right.
They don't shoot you. They don't throw you off a cliff. They eat you. And this is terrifying. And I think this is why we, as children, deeply respect T-Rex. Ask any kid who their favorite animal is. It's T-Rex, because you respect anything that can eat you.
Right.
And then you bring them over to astrophysics and say, what's your favorite object in astrophysics? It's black holes, because they can eat you.
Well, okay, cool.
All right, so here's the thing. So this evil alien concept,
it's crazy that he says that, because believe it or not, I react to a bunch of, y'all go through my channel, I've reacted to a bunch of different, cosmology and astronomy videos. I actually don't really find black holes that, like, they are interesting for the fact that we don't know what's inside of them, right? Like, it could be an infinite abyss, it could lead to different dimensions, but like, when I think about like the things that intrigue me about cosmology, black holes aren't even up there. Like, I'm more interested in, like, time dilation and the origins of the universe, the origins of life on Earth. Black holes are actually down on the list for me personally.
Feels like we are basing this on actual evidence of how we treat each other, rather than on any notion of how aliens would actually treat us. So in other words, we are projecting onto aliens what we already know we do to each other. Because in the history of civilization, dare I even use that word in these examples, you have a highly technologically able culture descends upon a less technologically able culture, particularly in the era of colonization of the world, and it never boded well for the culture that had less technology.
Yeah, whoever was getting visited got screwed.
That's
all there was to it.
Okay? And we do this to our own species. So I think our fear of aliens derives not from knowledge of how they would behave, but from knowledge of how we would behave. not with each other, and probably how we would treat other aliens as well. So I think that's what's going on there. That's my first point. Second, all the aliens portrayed, nearly all the aliens portrayed, they walk, they talk, they have 2 arms, legs, nose, eyes, mouth, head. Look at E.T., look at the aliens in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Look at, even in the movie series Alien followed by Aliens, and that,
right.
that
Alien Insurrection.
While it didn't specifically have legs, it was vertebrate, right? It had like a face.
Right.
A face is a very vertebrate thing to have.
Yeah.
All right. If you're not a vertebrate in this world, you don't have much of a face.
However, having 2 mouths, a mouth within a mouth, that was not a bad touch.
Well, that's the getting eaten part. That's a little more terrifying. Okay. So think about it. Amoebas don't have mouths.
Right.
Trees don't have mouths.
Right.
We just keep going down the list. And like I said, the traditional face that we think of, it tends to be a vertebrate phenomenon. And so
Yeah, but within an alien, especially, most intelligent life forms are vertebrates. So most likely wouldn't an alien be a vertebrate? And I'm actually honestly asking you as an open-ended question.
we are then making aliens vertebrates. Okay?
Right.
The movie Arrival, that was not a vertebrate. That was a septipod.
Right, that's right.
Yeah. So I like it when they try to go a little, they step outside of the comfort box of how we think aliens should be. And it means, an actor's not getting a payday that day because they're not donning an alien costume in order to do this. In the movie Arrival, which I recommend, it has some strong points in it.
Movie.
It's a cool movie, yeah. The aliens come and they have these pods positioned all around the world. By the way, the hubris of us to imagine that aliens would care about us or be curious about us.
Right.
That's hubris. It's like we're so interesting that another species that can travel across the galaxy is going to study our behavior. When you're walking down the sidewalk and you see a worm, do you pause and say, "Gee, I wonder what that worm is thinking. Gee, let me figure out how this works." No.
But I'll push back on that. But that worm can't communicate back to you. We have the ability to communicate and manipulate our environment and in minimal ways be able to go up beyond the planet, right? So we have the potential to be closer to the aliens than the worm is closer to us.
Put it on a hook and you go get dinner.
So just to believe that we are so interesting, that something as advanced as a civilization with flying saucers to cross the galaxy would sit there and want to analyze us. So that's hubris, okay? So there's that. But also, consider how many photographs are taken every day. Everybody's got a smartphone, right? Almost everybody. High resolution. And if you're not taking a photo, you're taking a video. And so if there's something unusual and interesting, you're taking a video of that. We have video of stuff you never got videos of before, like cops beating up black folk. Okay,
right.
I grew up. That was happening all the time. Right. Nobody had video.
Nobody had video of it.
It was cops' word against the black person's word. We now have video of everything that was once rare,
and it still makes no difference.
Chuck editorializing.
I'm sorry, I just had to throw that in.
Video. I'm just stating the situation. So you'd think an alien encounter would be rare, but you've got a smartphone and you can stream it. In the old days, when people said, "Did you take pictures of the alien that abducted you?" Yeah, but they stole the film. Or I got the film home and the whole roll was blank because the alien zapped it or whatever. So it's a recording device, but a streaming device is not a recording device. So you can live stream whatever is happening. All right. So you would expect, given how many reports of abductions there were,
right,
of decades past, that somebody would have that on, that'd be posted by now, and it hasn't been. So this leads me to think strongly that people's imaginations got the better side of their life experience when they came back to report on having been abducted. Okay, so there's that. So that's aliens. That's just aliens. But how about UFOs? So you see something flying, and it's something you don't know what it is. And let me just say, I was going to tweet this too. Maybe I should. I was going to say, the fact that you don't know what it is not evidence that you know what it is. Okay?
That's pretty profound, because that's exactly what people do.
So there's lights in the sky moving in a peculiar way, and you can't...
Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, people been saying, just because the government said it's a UFO doesn't make it aliens, right? It's still an unidentified flying object. It just doesn't automatically mean that it's an alien.
Explain it. It's unidentified, and it's flying, and it's an object, so it's a UFO.
It must be aliens.
And then... So I don't know what it is. Therefore, it must be A, B, C, D, elemental P, alien. And I'm thinking, you just admitted
you don't know what it is.
What it is. That's kind of where that stops. We're done here. Okay? It's time to get more and better data. Okay, so now, in science, do you know why science exists? Because the human sensory system sucks. That's why science exists.
That makes sense.
All right? We can see bands of light that your retina cannot. We can see things dimmer than the sensitivity of your cones can pick up, the cones in your eye. We can, the rods and cones, right, for detecting color and for and brightness. Those fail when you're trying to see things that are dim and outside of the range of what we call visible light. And this is stuff we didn't even know existed until scientists discovered it. We discovered X-rays and ultraviolet and gamma rays and radio waves and microwaves. That's all light. Okay, we have telescopes honed into those windows to the universe, and we drink in these phenomena and then convert them to ways that our senses can then detect them. We make a photo, we have chart recorders, this sort of thing. Point is, the advance of science and civilization with it came about primarily because we invented machines to replace our sensory system, because it fails so badly. And look, why do we have whole books on, what do you call them, on optical illusions, right?
Right.
Those are fun. Nobody doesn't love a good optical illusion. Right. And what is an optical illusion? It's, there's a line, and it's simple, right? It's simple line drawing on a white page. Oh, is that line bigger than the other one? I don't know. Are they the same size? Oh my gosh. Look how easy it is to fool you. And this is just a simple line drawing.
Brain Games, I remember that show. One of my favorite shows. Love the Brain Games. And I love watching on YouTube the people that draw the letters on a piece of paper, but the letter looks like it's jumping out the page. Right. Just like type in 3D M, like the letter M. So 3D, then the letter M. Crazy.
Now I'm going to have something complicated in Twilight, where in a sky where you've never seen, and now I'm expecting you to give me an accurate account of what just happened. No. So in science, eyewitness testimony is the lowest form of evidence there is. In fact, it's so low we basically don't accept it.
Wow.
So when you see people say, this was a Navy pilot who's trained and he's a credible witness for what he saw,
you're saying
species check.
You're saying that guy is just as much a dumbass as anybody standing on the ground. That Navy pilot or not, being a human being, he's susceptible to the same perception bias that anybody else
Perception bias. And that's not purposeful, you know.
Right.
They're not trying to, it's just the consequence of the human being trying to make sense of their world. And when things don't make sense, we have the urge to make it make sense so that we can think about it in some way that's consistent with our life experience. So I've had people say, I saw this bright light in the sky. It was huge. So, no, they meant it was just bright because the vocabulary is... I saw this light and it was a few inches above Marty's Deli. What do you mean a few inches? Was it an angle? It was in the sky? You know, so even our capacity to retell things is compromised because we're human. All right. So all I'm asking for is among the 6 billion images and videos uplifted to the internet every day that are high resolution.
Uploaded.
It'd be nice if a few of them had an alien getting out of their spacecraft. or you going up to greet the... Give me some footage of that. Some high-res videos. But you don't have that. What you have is, lately, fuzzy Navy video.
Right.
Monochromatic. And so you're telling me that the aliens are only revealing themselves to the Navy.
Well, that's not a bad place to start. They do have the best uniforms.
Plus, if the aliens are everywhere, but do you know how many planes, when we're in full flying mode, you know how many planes are crisscrossing this planet every minute?
Right.
All right? If there were aliens all over the place, this would be like a major hazard for airplanes. Okay? And we'd be seeing them all the time. All right? So we take this one case out of tens or hundreds of thousands, and it's a weird thing, and nobody can explain it, and all of a sudden, everybody can explain it. So that's I don't know what it is, therefore I know what it is. So, by the way, we as scientists, we'd love to meet the aliens. I have no problems with this. We just need better evidence than your credible witness. I just need...
Actually, I'm of the thought that if our history is to be any kind of an anchor as to what could possibly happen, right? Because Neil earlier in the video said, you know, whoever was more advanced, basically whoever had goons and they goons had better weaponry, the other side wound up losing. I'm of the mindset that before we start looking for aliens, we should advance our technology more so we could defend ourselves better in case, as improbable as it could be, in case they want to be hostile. Because if they want to be hostile, they're going to get spanked. So all I'm saying is, I feel like we should wait another 100 years till we got lightsabers and space lasers, all that other stuff. So if aliens come through and they want a war, they all getting packed up in body bags. If they try to take over the block. That's what I'm saying.
Better evidence than your fuzzy video. But anyhow, I'm ready for them. Bring them on. And it just seems to me if we'd be visited, more than the Navy would notice it. That's all I'm saying. And you think the government is keeping secrets? First, you think the government is competent enough to keep such a secret? If we were stockpiling aliens, you don't think a cell phone image is going to get out of Area 51?
Something will get out.
You don't really?
Right.
Really? Do you really think the government is that competent? Really? Anyone who's worked for the government knows differently. And of course the government tries to keep secrets. Of course they try. But anything as juicy as an alien? Plus, if aliens are on their way, do you know how many telescopes we have pointing up to the night sky? Right. Do you realize how much the night sky is being monitored by people other than human beings? Also, do you realize we have cameras pointing downward? You know, Google Earth are downward pointing cameras. Okay? All right? If aliens are landing and taking off, we would have footage. So instead of asking, how come scientists don't agree that what you can't identify is alien? Try to think differently about it and ask, if they were aliens visiting Earth, what would that be like? Somebody would see it. Somebody would have photographed it. It would have ended up in Google Earth. It would show up in many more airplanes, given how many airplanes fly around the Earth every single hour. Or just think that through. The absence of that level of supportive evidence, for me, is very strong against the alien interpretation of something you can't identify in the night sky. So, and by the way, bring a net. Grab one. You'll be rich and famous overnight. More power to you. I'm not going to get in your way. But what you present as what you think is evidence is insufficient in our scientific court of law.
I hear that, bro. I hear that. Neil definitely made some strong points, right? Like between the satellites, the planes in the air, and everybody having a smartphone, why is there always grainy videos? Why? You know what I'm saying? Or is it that the aliens know how to become translucent and only grainy videos and grainy cameras are the only ones that can capture them? You know what I'm saying? I'm all up in your mind, bone pulse. Let me know what y'all thought of the video. Let's talk about this in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that comments, I will be replying back. I love talking about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up. My name is Rain. Catch you on the flip side. RCP salute. Wait for it.